校友同学呢给带进来，我看看啊。OK， 是我们的OK Claire 已经在了，我把它给加成 co-host。OK， 这样 Cory 也在哈 ，Cory 也来了。OK， 好，那就还有 Jeannie。OK。Yeah, so 现在你们 so okay, so Claire, Cory, and Jeannie. So you guys can please turn on your video. I think I made you co-host, so please turn on your video. Okay, so I introduced some of the panelists at the beginning, but right now Cory is in MIT right now, and Jeannie is in Berkeley, and Claire is UPenn, right? Okay. So is Claire still here? It's just okay.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
I don't see Grace. Grace is also here too. She's just under my name.
Claire is not listed.
Oh, okay. Well, let me make. Oh, Grace is on also. Okay. Okay, so I think I have everyone. So okay, guys, can you say something to our audience? Yeah, we have a lot of people here.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeannie. I went to math.
Okay, just give me a moment. I think I can't hear you. Okay, let me make sure I can hear you guys. Okay, so yeah, I didn't hear you guys. Can you say something again? Just to say hello to everyone. I still can't hear you. So somehow, yeah, somehow I have trouble over here. Okay, that's my. Okay, I think I can hear now. Okay, so again, let's try it. So can you guys say something?
Hi.
Okay, I got you. Okay, all right. So now let's share some of your experiences. Okay, so let's talk about some questions here. So how do you develop your math interest when you were young? Yeah. Any of you start?
I'll start. So, hi everyone, my name is Jeannie. I think a big part of my math interest when I was young was my parents helping me look for friends who also loved math. So I was surrounded by people I could talk to about math and do math together. And one example of that was them finding math programs for me to join. So Mathson was actually the first math program I joined, which was, I think, pretty fundamental in developing my math interest.
Nice, okay, thank you. So yeah, anyone else? Who's next?
I can go. Hi, I'm Cory. As was already said, I go to MIT, and I think that, like most people's quest for knowledge, mine started with a question, or rather, many questions. From a very young age, I started trying to kind of understand the world and the way that everything worked and fit together, and the optimal strategy to do anything, no matter how minor it was. And this was a very difficult task, and I was like 6, so perhaps not manageable, but I wanted to understand the world, and I wanted to be able to kind of be sure that what I was doing was correct. And the way that I eventually stumbled on my passion for mathematics was finding that I could frame these questions, these questions about the world, whether that be what I want to spend my allowance on, or in fact, I did chores to gain allowance. It was like, what is the optimal set of chores for me to do to earn the most? And framing these in the context of math and trying to answer a question that was important to me was huge for me. So coming up with these questions and then trying to answer them just with whatever tools I had.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so you already know how to do optimization using using math to figure out how much chores you want to do. Okay.
Being very creative. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very, that's very creative. Very, very nice. Okay. Okay, Claire.
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of similar to Jeannie's experience, but I have 2 older siblings who also started doing math from a young age. So for me, I felt like that was the main factor that kind of pushed my interest in this subject, because it was kind of like a way for me and my siblings to bond and connect. And then also I kind of further developed it by finding like other friends who are also interested in math. And also for myself, Math Zoom was the first math summer program I went to. And from there, I was able to meet a lot of friends who did math that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Okay, nice. So Grace?
Yeah, so I've always loved math since I was younger. It just came naturally to me. And due to that, I just continued to pursue it. That's something like if you like it, you push at it. And honestly, I wasn't super interested in math competitions at first. I was part of it, but I wasn't really motivated in doing it. But after I went to the summer program with our team, it really helped me understand what these like competitions were. It showed me a different side of math that I didn't see that was in like school learning. It taught a lot more problem solving skills and like the more creative side of math. And I like saw the appeal in like math competitions and how it could push me. So after that, I started participating in more math competitions.
Okay, that's pretty nice. Okay, let's see the next question. Okay, so what is it like to be in the Areteem program? Yeah, so I'd like to hear your reflections.
Hi, I was part of the 2014 Areteem program. I think it was really fun and it was also pretty well balanced, because I remember I was 12 or 13 when I went, and I remember I was scared that it would be all math and like no fun, right? Because, I was young and I didn't want to spend my summer just learning all the time. But when I went, I found out it was actually really great, because the professors were fun and like we did learn math. And then after classes, we could hang out with our new friends, and then we could also do math together or just do other things. And it was well balanced, and it helped me find a good community too.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so who's next? Cory? Or
Sure. I think Jeannie touched on a lot of the things that were really dear to me when I went to the program. I was also quite scared that it was going to be nonstop math, and as much as I love math, there does reach a point where it would be too much, but we didn't reach that point because they managed to break the day up where you do math, you take a break, you have fun, you're having fun while you're doing the class, and then they also partition the day into separate subjects, so that it's not like you're grinding geometry for 8 hours, because that doesn't sound fun to me, at least maybe 3 hours, which is more of what we did. But also a couple of things that I really enjoyed was I like Jeannie and Claire and Grace, I went to the 2014 summer camp as well at Boston College. And we would get this break where we would play sports, and whether it was ultimate frisbee or whether we were playing basketball, it was this opportunity to first of all just have fun outside, but also strengthen the friendships that you have with these other people. So it's a big growth experience. And then finally, the counselors and the professors are very down to earth. They're very personable people. I have this one very distinctive memory of one of the counselors who would actually, during our free time, my roommates and I were watching a TV show, and he was like, "Oh, I love that TV show," and he came and during our free time would watch the show with us. And I think just from the top down, the organization is very personable and very approachable, and everyone in it is. And I think that really created a very fun environment for me when I went to the camp.
Yeah, I would agree with everything that Cory and Jeannie touched on. I was also pretty concerned about doing math all day. But for me, something else that I was kind of concerned about was whether like the material would be a bit too rigorous or it'd be like too much math, or like the level would be too high for me to understand. But they actually separated into 3 different groups of difficulty, and you kind of get selected into each group based off a like initial assessment. So I think that was really great to be grouped with kids that I felt like I was kind of on the same level. And we were both just kind of like all learning at the same pace. And then also, along with what Cory said, I really like how it's super personable. Like for me, I'm still like in touch with my old counselor from when I went in 2014. And something else I also really liked were we had group outings, so it was really fun to like bond with other campers. And for me, I'm from like a pretty small town where math isn't very big, so being able to meet other kids who are also really interested in math was a significant push in my interest for math.
Yeah, so when I first went to the camp, I actually went with one of my friends. But as going in again, I was still also scared of doing math all day long, and I also was not confident in my math skills at that point. But again, as Claire said, they split you up into 3 groups, and through that, I kind of felt more comfortable being placed with people of similar level. And also the people around me helped me, professors helped me. They were really nice about everything. And honestly, the people around me were all really inspiring. I think that was one of the main points. I got to meet people that I never would have met at my own school. And seeing them be able to like excel in different things was really inspiring and pushed me to work harder as well. And one of my favorite parts was probably in our off time. I really like playing cards. And that was like one of my best favorite moments of the camp, when we just play cards. And honestly, we also talked about cards in class a lot, so kind of related.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. 刚才几位同学呢，讲了一下，就是在那个 Areteem Camp 的这个几个不同的方面，这讲得非常好。是有意思，这几位同学实际上他们是去的，曾经去这个同一个 camp。那么实际上他们在这个 camp 里面呢，就是互相认识，然后到现在为止仍然是朋友。那么在这个 camp 的时候呢，也是这几位同学其实有很多同学和家长呢都有这个 concern， 说每天整天下来的话，好几个小时都在学 math， 这个能受得了吗？就是说会不会太too intensive， 就是这个太紧张。但实际上呢，从这几位同学的这个分享来讲，其实也是我们也是这种有章有弛，就是说不仅仅是上午下午呢是不同的 subject， 那同时这个中间的 break 的时间呢，有这个自由活动时间，有体育活动的时间，还有这种游戏的时间，所有的这些东西穿插起来的话，是一个非常有意思的一个 fun experience。而且我们的 counselor 和我们的老师都是非常的 personable， 这个跟这个同学的话能够打成一片。那么这个 counselor 还 跟着同学一起做游戏，一起看电视，是有的这个 counselor 实际上还会跟同学会教他们武术啊什么这些东西都会有。就是说这个这总体来讲是一个非常那个就是 a lot of fun， 这个 experience a lot of fun， 所以他们会有非常深刻的印象，非常好的这种回忆了。OK， 下一个问题的话，实际上这个问题刚才这些同学已经讲过了很多了，所以我们再跳过这个问题到下面。So what made it not boring to do math? Oh, 这也是 So yeah, I see that a lot of this already. Okay, so let's see another problem. Oh, we don't have any more problems. Okay. Okay. Let me go back to this question. So yeah, so how do you can you share how Areteem program help you with your interest in math? Yeah, I think let's explore a little more about this, or if you have anything else to share your experience about math, about Areteem, that's okay. So anyone, yeah, so can you guys also share something more about this?
So like I said earlier, I felt one of the biggest parts of the program was like the community that they had, which provided me with like new friends and people to do math with together, which was very helpful, because when you spend like 3 to 4 weeks with the same people, you actually get really close to them. And I'm actually still close friends with one person that I went to camp with like almost 6 years ago. So because like I could maintain these friendships, we would keep talking about math related things in the future. So it would just continue to stimulate my interest, and I would just keep going and pursuing math afterwards.
So I guess we'll stick with this rotation.
Good.
I think that one of the really big things from the camp for me was that it kind of exposed me to what I would now call interesting math problems, or things that actually have clever solutions or like interesting results, I guess. Like Claire said, not all areas of the US have great math communities. Some, like I'm from a not that populated place. We don't really have math where I'm from. And so I had never really been exposed to true math competitions as they are. And so when I went to the camp, what I had known as geometry, which was coordinate bashing, later became, through the camp, some very clever arguments, whether that be through like something as simple as like similar triangles and just extrapolating it to like drawing in lines that aren't there to create interesting shapes, or some more complex idea. It all came down to taking these topics that I thought I had known and actually applying them to something that was more interesting, more challenging, and ultimately more enjoyable for me.
Yeah, for me, I don't come from an area with a really big math community, so it really exposed me to a lot of problem-solving skills, techniques, and topics that I wouldn't have been able to learn otherwise. And also just being in an environment where you're surrounded by your teachers, who are like some of the best math teachers in the nation, and like your peers, who are also some of the brightest like math students in the nation. It's just very inspiring to further push yourself to work harder within the discipline.
What kind of challenge?
For me, from this camp, I got a much more deeper understanding of math. Everything that was taught wasn't surface level. It was one level deeper than everything that was taught at school. For example, one example I remember is something with the Pascal triangle. It wasn't just a surface of numbers anymore. They showed us patterns that I've never seen before. And seeing those patterns really pushed me to see more patterns in math. And this stuff you don't see at school. School is just monotonous work. But coming to the math camp gave a much more, I guess, like flavor to math that I've never seen before.
Okay, okay, so yeah, so here's a question from the audience. Can the panelists share how math skills awards have helped them with the college application? Yeah, so we did share a little bit of this last time, but yeah, I'd say, can you share something like that again?
So I'm not exactly sure if you just mean like math awards or like test scores or anything, or do you also mean math extracurriculars as well?
I think those should be included. Yeah, the math extracurriculum and anything, any award you get or any of the activities and yeah, that will influence your college application.
Okay, then for me, I did Amy. I coached my middle school math club for 4 years. I was part of my state's ARML team for 2 years, and then Florida has like a student math association, and I was region 2 coordinator of my region for 2 years, where I kind of like held tryouts for the students in my region. And then I went to Ross and Sumac math camp in high school, and Mu Alpha Theta, which is like another math competition more dominant in the South. I was doing Mu Alpha Theta in my high school as well.
So, I mean, if you're just looking for a laundry list of competitions, I did pretty much what Jeannie said, plus minus a couple, but I think that what I have to add to this conversation is math was, I think, as I've led on, a very big part of my development, both as an individual and academically. And I really, in reference to my application, I really wanted that to shape my application, because I wanted to push this narrative of I've grown from when I was very little to now being very interested in math. Although the way that I treat math has changed, it's still a passion that I have. This is something I care about a lot. So I was able to cite all of these competitions, all the awards, whatever, but I was, I think that having this background of math camps that I've gone to, of math competitions that I've gone out of my way to go to, of math classes that I've taken, of awards, I think that this helped to paint a picture of someone who has had a very steady interest in something. And I think that this let the admissions officer know what I was about, at least in that sphere.
That's very nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my experience was very similar to Cory's. I kind of tried to show how, because at the end of the day, with the college application, you want to show some narrative about who you are as a person and what your interests are and how that's shaped you as a person, because at the end of the day, that's what they care about most. So I wouldn't say that my math skills or awards directly helped me with the college application process, like listing them in under the awards section or extracurricular section, but I would say that it kind of showed this steady development and how like I went out of my way to pursue this interest that I had.
So I pursued math more academically. So my senior year, I attended this class created by one of our teachers at our school called Math Methods in Engineering, which is a combination of linear algebra, multivariable calculus, and TIFI-Qs. And through this, I was able to kind of showcase my creative thinking that I've developed over the years, and which led me to actually ask this teacher for a rec letter. So through this rec letter, my teacher is able to showcase my creative thinking skills that can be written in words and shown to the college admissions, which is really important because colleges are looking for how you can think, how you can solve problems. And then at the end of the school year, I was awarded with a kind of graduation academic award in mathematics, which is recognized for students in my year. And it really meant something to me, at one, because I was only female up there, but also just because I've like come a long way coming from like not wanting to do math competitions to getting into it and learning the creative skills and being recognized for it. So it really is something you should invest in.
Okay, so I have some questions. Okay, I have actually a question for Cory. Cory, okay, I have to tell the audience, Cory is a very good football player. And yeah, among our students, you know, math geeks, so it's pretty rare, okay, football player. So I like to ask, okay, as a football player, how do you find other kids, you know, interesting? So okay, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I think that there is this disconnect between most football players and most people who are very interested in academics. And I'm actually, I learned to appreciate that in high school, because what it resulted in was me having these two groups of friends. I mean, I was really close with everyone on the football team. I was really close with everyone on the math team and in the academic community. But I think that the thing that I really enjoyed was trying to introduce people from one of these spheres to the other sphere. So I actually got, through some hard work, a couple of the football players to join the math team.
Wow.
I got a lot of the math team to come watch us at the football games. I think that engaging with both of these spheres really helped my development as a person, because I mean, at the end of the day, we have to be able to interact with anyone in society. And I think that there's a very different way that you interact with people in those two environments. And learning that really helped me grow as a person.
Yeah, so you kept the best of the both worlds. Right, okay, so the next question, actually, I want to direct to the girls. Yeah, so, you know, as girls in the, what kind of a challenge do you have, you want to share in math, in academics, in anything, school life, anything like that?
So like, as you know, there has been more of a focus recently on bringing more girls into STEM, because, you know, in these fields, in math fields, it's more male dominated. So for me, I would say that like, I think I'm pretty lucky, because I feel like I'm not a typically shy person. So I do have experiences in programs or math classes where I was either the only girl or like one of very few girls. So yes, I had to interact mainly with guys, a lot of boys a lot. And sometimes, you know, I would have to fight to have my voice being heard. But I think that has helped me in, you know, strengthening my self-confidence and learning how to be confident in my own abilities, and also being able to stand out in a group where, you know, I'm considered different.
Yeah, I would say one of the challenges I faced in most of my classes and like the math extracurriculars I did, I was like one of the few girls, or sometimes the only girl. I think like the main challenge is like letting your voice be heard, especially in grade school. Typically like the boys and girls kind of like separate a lot, so they're not really used to seeing like someone who's different. So yeah, I would say mainly knowing that like my opinions are valid, or what I have to say is valid.
Yeah, I think Jeannie and Claire kind of covered most of the gist of being what a girl in math really means. But I think coming out of it has really strengthened all of us into like stronger people, and built our confidence coming out of it, knowing that we've gone through it, making us like better people. Yeah.
Okay, so there is still another question in the chat room. It's like, it's related to high school. So, but that will be our topic of next week. So actually, I want to leave that to the next week because of time constraints. We like to finish right now. 所以因为这个时间关系的话，我们今天呢就让这个panelist 的这几位同学的分享呢就先到这儿。这个还有下面的问题呢，我们下周还有可以再继续问题，在下周再分享。那么现在的话呢，也非常感谢几位同学前来参加我们这个 webinar 来分享你的经历。所以呢，这个现在就这几位同学，其实你们可以那个 take a break and take off. So 我还可以 I'll be still here. So if there's any question regarding Areteem and regarding our programs, you can stay and ask me. But I'll just say thank you thank you to all the panelists and hopefully we have next week, and any more questions will come back next week. Okay, thank you very much. So okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye. Okay, so 所以现在我们如果还有问题的话，我们还可以再 OK。Will Areteem hold a winter camp this year? OK， 就是说这个今年的情况比较特殊，因为我们这个summer camp 的时候呢，本来是要就 on-site， 一直也想着这个如果疫情情况比较好的话，我们会保持 on-site camp， 但是到最后的话还是没有办法，所以我们还是 online camp。实际上我们的 online camp 也很成功，有的同学连续参加了4周，然后到最后的时候会跟家长的哭，就是说哎呀，这个就要结束了，因为在这上面也认识了不少的朋友，也是学了很多的东西，所以也是很遗憾，就这么快就结束了。那么在 winter 的时候呢，我们还要看情况，因为这个也很难说。现在是这个看现在的情况的话，如果这个 coronavirus 这个疫情还是继续是这样的话，或者说哪怕是好一点，我估计到冬天的时候也很难说的。所以呢，这是等到我们在秋季过1-2个月的时候再看着具体情况再具体说吧。如果我们必须的话，也是 take online camp， 到时候会通知大家的。好，还有什么其他的问题？好，如果没有问题的话，那我们今天就到这里为止啊。我们这个数学竞赛的微信群，就现在这个在 Areteem Support、Areteem Help Desk 这个可以大家来加入我们的微信群。现在我们因为这个微信现在有可能会被关掉，所以我们有这个 Telegram 群呢，可以通过这个链接来参加。最后最下面一条是这个我们的关于升学规划和大学财务规划的免费的1对1咨询，可以用这个链接呢来 book appointment， 就是说跟我们定这个时间呢，然后可以在这种 online 的这种 one-to-one consultation。下面这个链接都在这儿。我们这个recording 像这个视频的话，也会在今天之后呢，也会把它发到网上，同样是在这个 YouTube 里面都会有。然后我在这个新浪微博里面也会，我在新浪微博的这个账号呢是数学魔法大师。如果说大家去参加新浪微博，去上新浪微博的话，可以来查我这个视频的话都会在那里。好，今天就到这里，谢谢大家的参加，我们下周再见。